students for the inauguration of the International World Abuse Day. Today, on behalf of our academy, I welcome our chairman sir, Dr. L.P. Thangaveli sir, correspondent Mrs. Shanti Thangaveli ma'am, and our joint correspondent Akshay sir. I also welcome our honorable chief guest, Mrs. Meera Chandran ma'am, our beloved principal, Dr. Muthulakshmi ma'am, faculties, and my dear friends. A welcome to all for this World Drug Abuse Day. It's very important to sensitize our youth the subject of drug abuse. Drugs are dressing the life of youth life, putting the future in the great darkness. The use of the drug is making the life prone to destruction. Drugs, as we all know, the illegal matter. While people drink, smoke, inject, or they eat, it affects the mental and social activity of the physical mental of human life. Good thoughts of blessed guests should be hardly welcome, sought after. The one who trusts the value of assurance, authority with power. A welcome our honorable principal ma'am to welcome the welcome address. I also invite ma'am to deliver the welcome note.
Hello, good morning. One and all present here to attend the Zoom meeting regarding the drug abuse in our youngsters generation. Our honorable chairman sir, beloved correspondent madam, our Akshay are having more happy of this webinar presentation. With their blessing only we can start and this beautiful task. Dr. Manikandan and Dr. Jayabharati, PhD, and third year students organized in very beautiful manner, very useful topic to our students and the adolescent society also. Welcome you all for your hard work. Our most beloved chief guest of Meera Chandran, Principal, Care Nomballi, College of Nursing, Hyderabad, the eminent resource person, kindly she accepted to give the consent to take this topic and in this International Day, drug abuse, on behalf of the management, faculty, and our nursing students. I welcome you, ma'am. We are waiting for your interesting discussion. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Drug abuse is essential. Very essential. You know very well that our nursing should know the abuse, addiction, dependence of the drug. It is the main great problem in our country. The uses of illegal and unprescribed or excessive amount of drug consumed and get the problem. Addiction means inability to control the using of substance. Means nowadays young generation mostly affected by gutka, matka, panpara, tobacco, and spoil their health. And also heroin, cocaine, opium, LSD is one tablet. That is also affected the mental and physical well-being. Doses, tablets, the pain tablets also, continuously they are taking without doctor's prescription and other things. Pethidine mafia, that and all you may not know, the pethidine mafia, fortidine also consume continuously that the medical people or some the knowing persons as an injection. It may give pleasure that time, but it affects the brain neurotransmitters and develop seizure, stroke, mental confusion, memory problems also. All over country, 7 million of people are suffering because of the drug abuse. In this, 1/4 of death also occur. 80% of offense occur in our country. Hence, as a nurse, we should know the knowledge regarding the drug abuse. They should find out why patient is consuming, what is the withdrawal symptoms, de-addiction centers, what type of treatment they are giving, all should know. Promotion, prevention, recovery, symptoms should know. Hence, WHO declared today as 26th June as a drug abuse day. All My dear students, you listen our resource person's beautiful discussion and benefit the new knowledge regarding the drug abuse. Thank you, my dears. Thank you, Meera.
Thank you, ma'am. The harder you work for something, the greater you will feel when you achieve it. Now, I request Dr. Manigandan, sir, Professor, Department of Mental Health Nursing, to unfold the theme. Sir.
Thank you, Franklin. So, a warm good morning to all. So, here we are in International Day Against Drug Abuse, Illicit Trafficking. So, it is marked on 26th June every year to strengthen the action and cooperation in achieving the goal of a world free of drug abuse. Each year, we individuals, entire community, and various organizations all over the world join in on this global observance to raise awareness of major problem that illicit drug represents for society. So we all together, we belong to a nursing profession. We all together, we have to work hard to tackle this problem of world drug problem. So the theme of this year given by United Nations Office on Drugs, on crime. So share facts on drugs, share lives. So this will be like hashtag share facts on drugs, hashtag save lives. So the main objective of this one is do your part and combat misinformation by sharing the real facts on drugs. So from the health risk and solution to tackle the world drug problem to evidence-based prevention. Yeah. So during this pandemic situation, to alleviate stress, so many adolescents adapt to various drugs. For example, they are consuming alcohol and cannabis. They are considering cannabis is good for health, but it leads to severe brain damage and psychosis. So clearly we have to know the facts and then only we have to share the information. So that is about the objective, share only the information from verified sources. So thank you. Franklin, over to you.
Thank you, sir. Every thought you produce, anything you see it and do it becomes your signature. Now, I request Dr. Jaybadi ma'am, Professor, Department of Child Health Nursing, to welcome the chief guest.
Good morning to all. I am very much glad to introduce the speaker of today's session, Professor Meera Chandran. She started her nursing education in 96 and did her PG from NIMHANS, Bangalore. She has 20 years of experience in the field of nursing. The ma'am has started her career as a lecturer and promoted as associate professor and so on. Now she is the principal of CARE Namballi College of Nursing, Hyderabad, Telangana. She is a UG and PG examiner, practical examiner and question paper setter to various universities like Dr. Rajiv Gandhi University, Bangalore, Dr. NTR University, Vijayawada, Dr. KNR University, Warangal, and Dr. MGR Medical University, Chennai. She is also a member of Flying Squad for theory exam conducting, and ma'am is also a member of inspection panel in INC, State Nursing Council, and KNR University. She published various articles in national and international journals and conferences also. They organized various workshops and be a resource person to various national and international conferences. And also, ma'am is the editor of a national psychiatric journal. Ma'am, we are very happy to have you with us on this special day. On behalf of our PPG College of Nursing, once again, I welcome you to share your thoughts with our young buds. So, to you, ma'am.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for this lovely introduction, Ms. Bharti. I'm delighted to be here and it's a great honor. And before starting my theme, I would like to thank the chairman, Dr. Thangavelu, PPG College of Nursing, and Mrs. Shanti Thangavelu and Mr. Akshay, joint correspondent, for giving this platform And also my great gratitude to Dr. Muthulashmi, Principal PPG College of Nursing, for making me part of this webinar and organizing this particular session for the International Drug Day. And also to my dear friend Jayabharati and for coordinating, and also to Manikandan for coordinating. Last week he was behind me for coordinating all these things. So thank you so much for everyone for it's a great effort, especially this particular topic. It is very essential, especially in adolescent age. So let me start with some of the PPT for. I'll give a overall idea about what it is. Okay, so let me start with my PPTs. Okay, so as you all know, today is June 26th, and today we are celebrating International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking. So every year there will be one particular theme will be there, and this year in 2021, the theme for this International Day is Share Facts on Drug and Save Lives. Okay, we will see what is the important of this particular theme. So share facts on drug and save lives. The main aim of this theme is combating misinformation and promote sharing the facts on drug, from health risks and solutions to tackle the world drug problem to evidence-based prevention, treatment and care. Mostly what is happening with this drug addicted people is, mostly they are not understanding what is happening once they started having this particular addiction. So combating misinformation is one of the important factor where like we need to make the people understand the real fact, what is going to happen once you start consuming. Maybe people will start maybe for getting a pleasure they will start, then casual occasion they will start, then it will be a daily occasion, then it will be like throughout the day, like it is going to be addiction is too much where like the people who can't be able to survive with this kind of drug. So we need to give a proper information. So combating this misinformation is that people are not understanding or getting the real fact what is happening after this drug addiction. So combating misinformation and promote sharing the fact on drug. It is not only if I am getting the information, if I am keeping, maybe it is benefited only to my family. But the problem is that maybe it's we need to share the fact, share the information to the family, then to the society, to community, and the way if it spreads, then at least the people will understand this is what is a real threat in the society now. So sharing the fact is very very important, and especially when we share what all things we need to share is that what are the health risks are there and what is the solutions to tackle this particular. Okay, so what is that particular solution is there? If somebody started by mistake or whatever it is, how to solve this particular problem? And we have so many evidence-based prevention factors are there. Now so many research studies are there where everything is evidence-based. So if somebody has started also, we have so many solutions are there for preventing this. If some particular society started with drug addiction, we have so many methods are there to control that. So evidence-based prevention, then treatment is very important. Most of the people are not understanding the concept is that okay, this is also an area where like people need the treatment once they started. So treatment is important and care is very important. Okay, so how this particular International Drug Day has started? The history is International Conference on Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking was held in Vietnam during 17 to 26 June 1987. The General Assembly at the United Nations recommended that an annual day should be observed in view of the growing threat and deterioration of the quality of life. So the draft was written on June 26, December 1908, which is to be celebrated as the International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking. So see, this problem is not started now. From beginning 1987 itself, like before itself, like 19th century itself, people started getting the drug addiction, and in the conference they understood just getting the data, it will not work, so we need to have a particular day for celebrating. So at least that day, if we gave some awareness to the people, so that at least people will understand. Because see, mostly what is happening is that when a particular day is there, only we will celebrate, we will have awareness programs, we will educate society. So at least one particular day, so that day everybody, every colleges, like almost all the colleges are celebrating. So at least people will have. So now I think some 80 people are there in this webinar, so that 80 people at least will give that, share that particular feelings to 80 families, so that family will share to others. So at least it will spread kind of data. So it is very important. So that is why they have we are celebrating June 26th as International Drug Day. And why it is very important? Because according to the World Drug Report 2020, World Drug Report, it is something like United Nations Office of Drug and Crime. They have a particular organization where they will get all the data regarding every country, like how it is. There are so many different kinds of drugs are there available: opium, cocaine, cannabis, all that thing. So how much it is affecting each country, they have prepared the data. So every year they will prepare. So according to that, around 269 million people use drugs worldwide in 2018. So this is the data 2018 and published in 2008. So they started in 2018, which is 30% more than in 2019. So in 9 years, 30% drug abusers statistics has improved, while over 35 million people suffer from drug use disorders according to the latest world report. So you can understand, it is a kind of disorder where it is not only in one particular country, everywhere it is there. And when we discuss about the world, definitely we need to have an idea about in India what is happening. So India Drug Report 2019, according to the National Drug Dependence Center, NDDTC, in 2019, the recent data, approximately 2.6 crore people in India have used this opioids. Approximately 1.18 crore people use sedatives and inhalants. Over 8.5 lakh people inject drugs into themselves and are addicted, and about 14.6% of the total population of India, so around 16 crore people, are users of alcohol. And if you see, the interesting fact is the most prevalent state in all this. So when I was just checking the data about the opioids or the sedatives, inhalants, or the drug injecting medicines, everything, the first rank holders are from Uttar Pradesh. So in the sense, so most of the states are there, but everywhere the first number is coming to Uttar Pradesh. So that was some interesting fact. And so this is what I have mentioned, World Drug Report. There are a total 6 volumes are there. So each volume they used to mention how many people are affected and what are the solutions are there, what are the health steps are there, consequences are there. Everything is mentioned in this. So this is a world map. If you see, in 2018, this is about the opioids. And different kind of depressants, medications are there in that heroin. If you see, Asia and European countries, almost people are affected or addicted with this particular heroin. And if you see, South America also, most of the people have this heroin. And in Africa, if you check, see, most of that ash color data, which says that we didn't there is no particular data, they did not get it. That is why otherwise African countries, they are also having addicted with this heroin. Then if you see North America and Australia, they have a pharmaceutical opioid. So almost in world, everywhere people are using this particular depressants. And other than that, main stimulants drug used in 2018. If you see, it is mentioned cocaine is there, amphetamine, so many different types of categories are there. So if you see, amphetamine is most commonly used in India and almost half of the Asia and Europe. And cocaine is more in North America, South America, and Australia, and some part of the African countries. So, if you see the pic itself, like we will be able to understand if one particular area is having any particular kind of any drug substances. Okay, so see if you see like America, one particular, and it is it is spread like anything. Then everybody will have that particular substance, and it is spreading like anything. So you can understand how much people are using this particular drug abuse. So it is very important for us to understand, how pathetically our world is going. And more than 11 million people inject drugs and 1.4 million living with HIV. If we have some injectable drugs are there, so maybe like if friends are using with one syringe, like others also take care of that particular injecting medicine. So if one person is having HIV, so that way, so many patients may get. So this is also one of the data what I got. So now you understand, throughout the world, whether it is in any particular country, no matters, everywhere this particular drug is spreading like anything. So we need to understand the concept of what is drug abuse. So I thought I'll just have an idea about what it is. So drug abuse refers to the use of certain chemicals for the purpose of creating pleasurable effects on the brain. So what is happening is that once a person start with drug, so they'll get up to pleasure. So again and again they want to have a same kind of pleasure. So again they will use it, but they are not understanding the end result is what they are not understanding. So that is why people will more have the tendency to use all these things. And this cause, it is a psychiatric, social, and psychological problem that not only affect the youth of the entire world but affect a large area of people of different age. So it causes psychiatric problem, psychological problem, and social problem. The people won't be able to have a proper interaction like how they were before. Psychiatric problem, delusion, hallucination, psychological problems were like the person's what is it called, judgment will be poor. They will not be able to respond. So many aspects are there where finally they will end up into that conditions. And it ruins the people and society socially, physically, culturally, emotionally, and economically. I'm 100% sure the people who are using drug and the drug addicted people, they will not be having the proper kind of mental health, or like they can able to survive in the society, because they will have maybe some criminal mentalities that they may they will do any kind of illegal work for getting some kind of drug. So society, socially, physically, culturally, emotionally, economically, everywhere there is no any particular area where they will get progress. No, everywhere they will be affected. And this drug generate a condition of fear, anxiety, and a sense of insecurity. So fear will be there, anxiety will be there, all the psychological problems will be there. Always they will have that insecure feeling when they used to have this. So if you have seen, I don't know, yeah, heard it, I don't know whether your psychiatric postings over. So if you see all this de-addiction wards, if you go and see, we know that they won't be comfortable in talking or something, like all will have a insecure feeling, because they know that already they ruined their life, and they will have this kind of problems. And it directly affects the gray matter of brain and nervous system, which makes difficult for them to give proper response. So some drugs are depressant drugs, some are stimulant drugs, whatever it is. So that is why the people will have this kind of pleasure effect, and finally they will have all this kind of problems. And addiction of drugs can cause severe loss of appetite and weight, constipation, increased anxiety, irritability, sleeplessness, and gradual impairment of intellectual functioning. And they arouse as pain relievers and sleep inducers. So some of the painkillers or sleeping pills, medication, this all they'll end up with the addiction. So these are the common symptoms which people will experience with this drug abuse. And that one particular term has come, illicit drug trafficking. What do you mean by that? It is a global illicit trade involving the cultivation, manufacture, distribution, and sale of substances which are subject to drug prohibition laws. So here, if you see, all these are illegal things. If a person have a particular drug, having or keeping or selling to somebody or cultivating this particular drug, everything is under law, they'll get the punishment. All these things one by one, I will tell you what it is. Okay, drug trafficking, once viewed largely as a social and criminal problem, has transformed in recent years into a major threat to the health and security of people and region. So earlier we were considering all this have a problem, social problem, correct? Because the people will not have a much connection with socializing or interpersonal relation or going and talking with the people, because always they'll be addicted and they'll be in their own world. And criminal problem, for getting a one particular drug they may do any activity. So now that is there, and other than that it is a major threat because the people are losing their health and security of people and region. Maybe like some of the countries they will do spy work only for getting this kind of medicine. So all that will happen, and particular security threat is there. And okay, why it is happening is that some factors which is favoring expansion of this drug trafficking. One is income. Like high society funda is that every day they'll go for a party, and a night party, especially where like they will have a kind of drugs or alcohol or whatever it is. Okay, so once it starts, then it will be a kind of some society feel like they need to have this kind of funda where like others respect all that thing. So what happened is that once they started with this pleasure experiences, finally they'll be addicted. So the high society people, not only high society, everywhere it is there. Some people may be very poor people also, maybe for getting that pleasure effect, they will have this. So if income is there, if money is there, it is automatically that particular society or the particular family will have the tendency to use this. Then urbanization. Earlier we used to say that rapid urbanization which causes lot of problem, maybe poverty or migrating from one or unemployment. All this causes the drug addiction because they want to somehow relieve all their problem. So rapid urbanization causes expansion of this drug trafficking and population growth. Supply and demand. Correct. If demand is more, automatically supply also will be there, so that the traffickers they will get amount of drug for selling all this. So these are the main three reasons why this particular drug expanding. And trafficking offences may include. So I have mentioned like drug trafficking. There are some processes are there. So production, cultivation. This is a production. This is a picture of opium plants where like they will cultivate and after that they will sell it. So production of opium. Sorry, this is opium plant actually. So production. Then after that importing and exporting. If you see this particular pin, there are three areas are there from where almost all this cultivation is happening, from Myanmar, Thailand, and from Laos. So what they are doing is that they will cultivate and they will trade it to another countries. Okay, and Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Iran. These are the main three countries from where the India is getting supply of all this drug abuse. And from India again, see, this is called importing, where like from another country we are getting the drugs. Okay, and from here we will export to other whole world, almost the US, Canada, and in Europe, Sri Lanka, Kuwait, all this Kuwait and Arabian countries. So importing is happening and exporting is also happening. So if anybody produce or cultivate this particular kind of drugs, importing drug or exporting drug or transporting. So all this is under our NDPSA Act. All these offences are punishable. Other than this, if somebody is offering this particular kind of drugs, that also a kind of criminal, where like the person is punishable under this NDPSA Act. And other than selling or keeping possession with intent to supply, or the concept of acting for gain or commercial basis. Some people will keep it for some time, where when demand comes for more money, they may sell it. So all this possessing or keeping this particular drug also a kind of offense. Okay. And see, this is about National Crime Record Bureau. According to this, personal consumption of drugs and drug trafficking. So if you see under this 2017 data, total people for investigation under personal consumption is 53,940, and in 2018 it is 55. So you can imagine how much it is, within 1 year, how much personal consumption the people have increased. And about the drug trafficking also, if you see, like from 30,968 to 35,123. So everywhere, if you see the data about the drug abuse, the people are more getting addicted with us. So somehow we need to understand what is the main cause and the consequences, so that we can somehow get rid of this particular problem. So what are the causes of drug abuse? So curiosity and peer pressure, especially for the adolescent, the main problem is that maybe through movies, or maybe from the high funda society, or from the people who they are more influenced. So they have seen in movies and all, like, the hero is having this particular drug. So they, with the curiosity, they will also see, or they'll feel like, okay, let me see how it is and affecting. So curiosity is one of the main cause for this drug abuse. And peer pressure. Maybe I have 5 friends, all 4 friends are having this drug addiction. So maybe I may think like, no, if I'm not having, my friends will be upset. So let me have. So with the pressure of friends, we may have this. The use of prescription of pain relief drugs, which may turn into recreational use and become addictives. So some people will get pain relief medications as a prescription. So what happened is that after that, finally, they will they'll feel it is a psychological problem. They feel like, no, if I'm getting that particular medicine only, I'll get a pain relief. So, or maybe, sleeping pills or whatever it is. So because with the prescription, they will start. Maybe it is for the what is it, for some physical problem they are using, but finally they may end up with the addiction and failure in exam. So they feel like, no, after having this particular drug, they'll get relaxed. We will not get relaxed with failure in exam. We need to fight and again fight and finish it. Correct. So more than having this drugs and break up relationship. So these are some of the causes. And depression. Depression is one of the main cause, especially psychiatric area, where, like, no, the person will feel like, all these people, they feel like, I'm helpless, or I'm hopeless. Nobody is loving me, or nobody is caring me, or I don't have any future. So that kind of people, they feel like, okay, for getting their relief on this particular anxiety, they may start with this drug, and finally they will end up with this drug addictions. Easily availability of drugs. In Telangana, 2 years back, there was some kind of trafficking people were there. They used to stand near all the international school, and they used to give chocolates. Okay, and with that, some kind of all these drugs for addiction. So finally, anyway, it is not gone for so long before itself, like they were under police custody. But like easily available drugs, what happened is that they will start, then finally they know that without this they won't be able to survive. So that again, like, no, somehow killing or doing some activity, they will have this kind of addiction. So easily available of drug also one of the reason for getting addiction. Then recreational purpose. Some of the functions are there, holy and all, like, some people will have a tendency of this because it is a part of that. But if it the thing is that, like, finally, they may end up with the drug abuse. And unemployment is also one of the factor. Our data says that out of 6 people, 1 person will be drug addicted in case of unemployment when we have a data. Okay. Then the next one is financial burdens. Correct. Financial also one of the aspects. See, poverty, financial burden, all this kind of things were like, they'll immediately they will feel like, accessibility is that drugs are there. Okay, let me have this. Alcoholism or anything. And family history of drug abuse. Maybe the kids have watching parents, or the uncle or auntie or somebody is having this. So they will also have the curiosity, and they will also start with this. Then some traumatic experience in life, especially the child abuse or child neglect. This is also one of the aspect where, like, the child will feel like, nobody is there to take care of me. That kind of aspect, when it comes, they may also end up in drug abuse. And role of media, especially. Correct. Because we have seen so many movies where, like, the hero will have this kind of addiction, and people are thinking like, oh, this is the best thing what we can have. No, this is only a movie where, like, we cannot be influenced with movie aspect in our daily life. Okay, so these are the main causes of drug abuse, and what are the drug categories are there when we have this drug abuses. So we have some CNS depressant drugs are there, stimulants are there, hallucinogens are there. So opium, morphine, heroin, codeine, synthetic opiates, and barbiturate. So this is the opium plant. With this, they will extract this opium drug. Stimulants, this is a cocaine. They used to have a powder form, and they used to have this cocaine, amphetamine, methamphetamine. And in hallucinogen, this is a marijuana a tree that leaves with that, or LSD is there, where the people will be any kind of drugs they may be addicted. So some drug will depress the CNS, some will stimulate this kind of drug. So depressants, the cause of depression of the brain faculties, and example including sleeping pills and the heroin. So if you see here morphine is there, opiates is there, then some of the cup syrup, if you see there will be codeine will be there. Some people have the tendency to have so many cup syrup. That is also, people are not understanding how much it is going to affect badly their health. Okay, so these are some of the CNS depressant drugs which causes depression, in the sense they will not be able to respond much about this. Anyway, we will see this. The second one is stimulant. CNS stimulants, it causes stimulation of the brain, giving rise to alertness and increased burst of activity. All these kind of drugs are stimulation drugs. Okay, so what are the main problems they may have is that, because stimulant means, correct, they will have a more activity, will be more hyperactive people. So they will have a rapid heart rate, dilated pupil, increased blood pressure, nausea, vomiting. Then they will have some of the behavioral changes like agitations and impaired judgment. They will not have a proper judgment personally or socially. Anyway, if you see they will not have a judgment what I should do, what I should not do. And in severe cases, that they will have a delusional psychosis with the use of cocaine and amphetamine. So most of these drug categories, they in psychiatry we used to say that their delusional problems are more. What is it called? Very kind of threatening kind of delusion they will have in case of this CNS stimulants. And we have hallucinogens, the third category. So these causes hallucinations and an out of this world feeling of dissociation from oneself. So out of this world feeling. Some of the people when we used to ask the history, because in where I studied in Imhans and all, there are a lot of cases, different category we can see. So they'll say that when we have this out of this world feeling, it seems, but now they are under the pathetic condition where they are not remembering what all things they did. Some people are there, they did some criminal activity for getting this kind of drugs. So they are not understanding only for getting that out of this world. They used to say that they'll have a feeling of I'm flying in heaven kind of thing. So what happened is that only after this feeling, finally they won't be able to understand the intellectual capacity or the judgment. No, I'm not saying intelligence is not reducing, but we have a normal kind of way how we need to have a reasoning capacity, judgment, all that. Correct? That will not be there for this kind of patients. Okay, so they will have a hallucinogens, may causes distorted sensory perception, especially all this kind of hallucination. They will have visual hallucination is very common with this kind of patients, where they will have a very horrible, dreaded kind of images they used to have. Because of that, people won't be able to sleep, it seems. In our normal psychiatric schizophrenia, we have hallucination, but this kind of hallucinatory visual image is different. It is very kind of a fearful kind of image will be there, where they will not have any sleep, it seems. Delusions, then paranoia, they'll be always suspicious about if somebody talking also, they will have that kind of suspicious behaviors will be there. And even depression, because finally after this pleasurable effect, finally they end up in the world or in the earth. What happened is that they will realize sort of sensory perception, whether it is hallucination, they will see two images, or no, they want all that feeling, perception is perception abnormality. It is a kind of disturbance where finally they will end up in depression. Okay. And these are the consequences of drug addiction. The people, for getting pleasure, they will start, but finally they may end up in any kind of consequences of this crime. So many people are there. They will do some criminal activities for what is it, for getting that particular drug. When they are addicted, somehow they may kill their parents also. No, they are not doing. Why it is happening is that it is not purposefully they are doing. The drug is making them to do it. So addiction is one of the kind of thing where, like, no, we will not have any reasoning capacity, or like, no, we will not have our own intelligence to work how it is. And sexual assault, because I have mentioned already, like, no, judgment won't be there. So what happened, they don't know, like, no, what is happening when they are under this drug effect. And health problems will be there, alcohol or any kind of drugs. The people will be more problem with this, physically problem will be there, and a broken family, because they won't be able to adjust with other people. So most of the family will have this broken family effect will be there. And HIV/AIDS, because some people who are injecting drugs, they'll pass that particular syringe, or maybe they are using the same syringe, and like, maybe 10 friends are there, all people are using, and finally, if from anywhere, like, they may infect with HIV/AIDS, then they have that feeling of alienation, like I have mentioned, like, out of the world feeling, where, like, they won't feel like, this is my family, or I have a relation with my family or the society or the community. No way, they'll feel like, they are some other alien from some other world, like that. And unproductive society, the people who have occasionally they will start, then daily they will start, then throughout the day 24 hours, in the sense maybe 18 hours, they will have this kind of effect. So they will not have any idea what is the responsibility as a student, or as a as a working person, how, what is the responsibility. Always they will be in that particular drowsiness stage, where there will not be any productivity. And corruption, they will do anything for getting this particular drug. So corruption is also one of the consequences. These are the 5 C's of addiction. Okay, so how we are going to identify whether a person is addicted with this drug or not? First thing is that if a person is having this particular drug for a long period of time, it is called chronic, correct? So where, like, the people, if, maybe it was 5 not 5 years, like, we used to say that more than 2 months of people we can call it as a chronic. People were like, everyday addiction is there. Yes, they are not able to survive without this particular drug. So chronic cases. Then loss of control. Loss of control is that somewhere, if somebody is talking about this particular drug, or somewhere if they see also, they are not able to resist the control of having this particular. So somehow they want the drug and they will have also. So we're losing control, especially that particular time, to have this. Then third is compulsion. Compulsion is what is that? Like, no, when the OCD was there, like, no, compulsion to do some particular kind of activity. So these people, it is every day, it is compulsion to have this particular drinking. So if compulsion behavior is there, yes, the person have addiction. Then use despite negative consequences. Some people are very educatable, knowledgeable person. They know what are the consequences are there. But then also, even though if a person knows the negative consequences, but then also if a person use this drug, then yes, the person also have kind of addiction. And cravings. Craving means, irresistible urge to have something. Pregnant ladies have, no. So same way, like, these people every time, no, they will think about, no, need to have this particular drink, or need to have this particular drug. Okay, so these are the 5 C's of addictions: chronic, loss of control, compulsion, use despite negative consequences, and craving. Then one of the interesting fact, why teenagers start down this potentially dangerous path? Mostly, if you see, like, adult people after 50, very rare cases will be there, but most of the people are influenced during the adolescent age, during the college timings, because if somebody have, then others also automatically will pull into that track. Okay, so why teenagers are having? So there are some domains are there, depends on the domain the people will work. So the individually, if you see, like, the people who have early aggressive behavior, Okay, so early aggressive behavior, they know that they have this kind of angry outburst, just like that. No, they have irritability, short-temperedness. This kind of people somehow they want to control that behavior. So for that, they may start with this drug. So, but what we can do is that for this risk factors, we should not go with the drug. We can have our own self-control mechanisms. There are some kind of techniques that there were like no the people who have what is it called this angry outburst, all that kind of people. No, they we can have other than yoga, all that things are there. Where like we can control our all this aggressive behavior. So this is one of the factor which were seen. The people who have this aggressive behavior will end up in drug abuse. Then in family, if you see lack of parental supervision, maybe parents are in abroad and the maybe only one and only son, or this only son is there and he's in hostel and he's getting a lot of money. He don't know what to do, and parents are they are on their own world, only making money. So what happened is that the kids also not understanding what to do. So that kid also may end up with a drug abuse. So for that kind of people, we have to motivate about more parental monitoring work, like if we are giving money also, for what purpose or how much it is and what the child is doing. If a child is in hostel or wherever it is, we need to have the parental monitoring. Finally kids will understand why parent is doing that. But maybe if a child is already addicted, then they will not realize that. So before getting that addiction itself, we as a parent or as a teachers, we have also having the responsibility for taking care of. Then peer group, this is one of the domain where peer group, maybe the people have already friends have a substance use abuse, all that. So they may go into that particular trap. So yeah, more than going into that trap, the kid is more concentrating on academic competence. So in that cases, what happened is the protective factor were I'm more concentrating on my studies than going for this. If I'm concentrating more on my drugs, then I'll go there and I will not have any academic excellence. So this is the way how we can protect our kids. Then in school, if in school premises their drug availabilities are more, then the child may end up. This is what I mentioned last 2 years. Most of the international schools, very highly reputed schools, they used to have not the schools. The school does not know, but in that near to that areas, people used to have this kind of traffickers used to come and stand, and the kids also don't know. Correct. So that way, availability is more that. Then in that cases also, the child may end up in drug addiction. So anti-drug use policies are there, where the school have to notice, and they did, and finally that process is ended in the schools. And community, what happened is that if a people have poor people, or the people don't have much resources for protecting themselves. So what happened is that they may end up in doing all this drug abuse. Okay, so here we need a strong neighborhood where the society itself can help the person for getting some resources, or getting there are some voluntary organizations are there. They are financially also can help the people for putting in some business, so that this particular process can end up. Then these are the some of the components of comprehensive drug abuse treatment. So what are the treatments are available for all this kind, any kind of maybe suppressant or stimulant or what inhalants? Okay, so what first we need to do is that we need to understand how much intake the person is taking. Is it occasionally the taking, or daily is taking, or from eye opener, where from when the person getting up from the bed itself, the person is starting. So the intake process we need to assess. This is a total assessment we need to have for identifying what stage the child or the person is. After that, we can have a treatment plan, and the treatment plan we can have depends on what kind of drugs the person is. So we can have some of the pharmacotherapy, then substance abuse treatment, substance use monitoring. Okay, so when a person is having a particular substance and he is addicted every day, he used to have, when he go into the hospital, immediately just like that we cannot stop it, because like no, there will be so many kind of what is it called, side effects will be there. So we need to cut short all these substances slowly. So maybe you have seen like the addiction ward also, there also one particular time will be there for giving this particular alcohol or kind of thing. Why means that what is it, complete stop within a day, it will not be possible. So we need to monitor it, how the person is controlling his amount or quantity of substance. So slowly we can stop it. Then self-help or peer support group. Self-help groups are there not only in alcoholism, everywhere it is there. Narcotic anonymous groups are there, alcoholic anonymous groups are there. So here what is happening is that the people who are affected with this kind of alcoholism or kind of drugs, the family will come together and they will have a kind of activities which will help all the family members to take care of this particular person. So there will be so many different kind of activities will be there. Education, self-awareness programs will be there. So with the help of family, with the help of the particular society people, we can have some self-help group, so that automatically the person will get rid. Because when we know that see support is there from family and I need to quit it, then automatically the person also will have the tendency to somehow stop it. So that will be there. Then behavioral therapy and counseling. Behavior is one of the main aspect, especially with the people who have alcoholism, drugs, all that. So somehow we can have a cognitive behavior therapy or some behavior modification therapy techniques are there, which will control the kind of behaviors, and counselings are there. And clinical and case management, supportive management were like like all these people have some kind of physical problems will be there, or like signs, symptoms, clinical features are there. So what is that particular management according to the symptom, we can take care. And with this continuity of care, it is not that once I'm having 5 days of care and it is done. No, this will be like it is almost lifelong process, because once the person is addicted, again they have a tendency of doing that. So we need to have a continuous care. And other than, we have so many services are there. This is individually if a person is admitted in the hospital. Other than, we have a child care services if they are doing some kind of juvenile care centers are there, if they are doing some kind of crime because of this kind of drug abuse, or otherwise any kind of services for the below 18 year. Same way we can have some counseling kind of anything, all that behavior modification techniques, everything we can have under child care services. Vocational services, especially related to job placement, were like after the person come back after quitting all this kind of drugs, how the person will get the job placement. It is very important. So especially in psychiatric field, they have occupational therapy centers where like they will have so many kind of skill training program. Correct. We had candle making, basket making, or like book binding sections. All that is there. So wherever they are expertise, they will do that particular activity, and finally after discharge they can go and they can do the business, candle making business, where like the person itself is earning money and standing in feet. So like that way the people will start getting, see I'm saying the people who don't have job, others like the people can continue his studies or job, everything they can have. Mental health services, if psychological problems are there, delusion is there, psychosis will be there, hallucination will be there. So all that kind of problem, they can have a mental health treatment. Medical services, all this medical problems are there, for that they can have their kind of services. Education services, it is important to have an awareness program, so educate the person itself so that they will educate to others. So automatically like so many people are getting the awareness and they will not use this particular drugs. HIV AIDS services, I have already mentioned like people will be affected with HIV AIDS if they are using the same kind of syringes. So for that like we can have this kind of services. Legal services, maybe some people will have will do some kind of criminal activities or rape they will do, because they are not having the particular kind of judgment what they are doing right or wrong. So in that cases we can help them for legal services. And financial services, see legal services mainly more than educate the people, like, no, these are the kind of consequences it is going to happen. So some of the cases we cannot do anything, they will end up in jail. So give an awareness or education to the people who are, like, no, they will not finally end up in this all this kind of legal services. And we have so different acts are there, so make them to understand if they are in a drug trafficking, what all kind of problems they may end up, what all how much fine it will be, or what is the jail terms and all. We have to inform them so that they will not do this kind of thing, because most of the people are not understanding, oh, there are some kind of acts are there which is punishable under this keeping or offering this kind of drugs. No idea about them. And financial services for the people who are quitting from this particular kind of substance abuses. Now we can give some kind of financial services, so they can go, they are getting some kind of resources and they can do their own job. And housing and transportation services are available, and family services, all these services are available for this drug abuse treatment. So it is that people have to have an idea that family is there or society is there to support once okay. So better, more than going into trap, better not to have this. That is one of the important things what we can have. And these are some of the prevention strategies what we have. Once the person have then they will end up with all this kind of problem. So routine checkup is important. Awareness program is must, where people need to understand what is the consequences or what all problems are going to happen. Peer education against drug abuse. Peer is one of the, that is why it is mentioned very clearly, like, peer group is one of the more influential factors, because the age is something like that, where, like, they will have they are going to see, like, how, I don't know my future, how it will be, how my study will be, and how will be my, so many kind of things will be there, where, like, they will have a lot of anxiety. So peer education is important for ending up more than drug abuse. Let them fight and fight with whatever stress comes, and, like, move forward. Then custom checkup is important, so that we will be able to understand, like, the treatment order. Then technology development. Technology is one of the very important, especially nowadays, where, like, we know the fact, make sure that that particular fact has to distribute or should go to the other people, so that they will not take this drug. So mostly, that is one of the important factor. All social medias are there. Just pass the information. When this corona happened, like, because of so many education programs or so many status or so many organizations, they have given the information. That is why somehow we were able to control it, like, in some extent. So that way, we can do this also. And strong law and governance. Laws are there, but if we can able to have a do it as a responsible person. If I have seen somebody with drug abuse, if I see that, okay, that is not my good, let them do whatever they want. If in that cases, we won't be able to take care of our society. So it is that if somebody is doing mistake, make sure that whoever it is, we are responsibility police, and constant monitoring with technology and website. Then these are the Drug Act, Narcotic Drug and Psychotropic Substance Act, NDPSA Act. This is already I have studied in psychiatry. So if we are having a small quantity of drugs, maybe ganja, charas, cocaine, heroin, all this 1 kg, 100 gram, 2 gram, 5 gram. So they have a eligible for punishment, because imprisonment up to 12 months or fine up to rupees 10,000. Or some people may get both imprisonment and fine. Then more than small quantity, so more than small and less than commercial. 1 kg to 20 kg of ganja, 100 gram to 1 kg of charas, 2 gram to 100 gram of cocaine, and 5 gram to 250 gram of heroin. If they are hoarding this, then rigorous imprisonment up to 10 years and fine up to rupees 1 lakh. And in commercially, if somebody is having about 20 kg of ganja, 1 kg of charas, 100 gram of cocaine, and 250 gram of heroin, then also they'll get a rigorous imprisonment of 10 to 20 years and fine up to 1 to maximum 2 lakhs. So these are the punishment under NDPSA Act, and how we can celebrate. We know we are today all are celebrating. So which all method we can celebrate? Several seminars, exhibition, and lectures campaigns are organized to spread this particular awareness. Other than there are some drug addicted people are there who is recovered from drug addiction. If they can come, if they tell their experiences, so this is some kind of practical experience where they are undergone. So it is easy for other people to understand this concept. So that way also we can celebrate. Then there are some Narcotic Anonymous. This is a non-government organization. They'll conduct the counseling and other kind of treatment for all this kind of drug abusers. So that way also we get these programs for eradication, all this kind of drug abuse. And World Health Organization, they used to collaborate with other civil organization, and they used to conduct so many programs under International Drug Abuse Day. And so this is all what each organization do as a citizen of India. What we can do. So the theme itself, all you have to do is share facts on drug to help and save lives. So the first point is combat misinformation by sharing the real facts on drug. So we need to understand what is the real fact is happening under my society. If somebody is having this particular kind of drug use, so like what I need to know and how I can eradicate or how I can help that particular person. So I need to understand what is the actual, if opium business is happening, or maybe cocaine or whatever it is. So I need to understand the real fact about the all these drugs, and only share the information from verified sources like UNODC. This is what I have mentioned, that World Drug Report, where they will give the correct information in which particular country, in which particular area, what particular drugs are running. So the real fact we need to give. Most of these people are drug addicts because they are not able to understand what is happening really in their life, or really what is going to happen later in their life. Okay, so get engaged by sharing the right fact on drug, and access and share social media resources and support in promoting the fact. So we need to identify what is the real fact and share that particular information to any of the blogs, or we have so many different kind of blogs are there, so we can share it and reinforce our commitment to the basic principles of health and human rights. We need to understand as a citizen of India what is our basic basic rights on our own health and what is our human right. Nobody can cheat and give some kind of drugs, or nobody can't force us to do this kind of drug abuse, all that. So we need to have an idea as a as a citizen, what is my responsibility towards my parents, or towards my family, or towards my society or my college. So if we have a proper kind of understanding about our own life, then we will not end up with all this kind of threats. Then shared responsibility. Shared responsibility is as a teacher, I am going to correct my kids. Other than that, as a teacher, as a mother, I'm going to correct my kids. Other than that, as a teacher, I have the responsibility of all my students who are under me. So I need to understand, like, if anybody have any kind of problem, okay, let him have. That way we cannot sit simply. So we need to understand which way we can help that child for recovering from this particular drug. Or if we get a news that this person started with this particular drug, it is not only parents' responsibility, it is a responsibility of everyone, as a teacher, as a parent, as a society, as a family, as a community. Everybody is a responsibility. It is not that, oh, it is not in my family, so I can't. No way. Everybody have to share this responsibility. If anyone is having, then inform the police or inform the particular organization or whoever it is taking care of helping these kind of people. Unless we reduce demand for illicit drug, we can never fully tackle cultivation, production of trafficking. Correct. So when supply is more, demand, why supply is more is that because demand is more. So we need to cut short our demand, so that automatically supply will be less. So there will not be much cultivation, there will not be much production, trafficking, transporting, nothing will happen. And government also have the responsibility to contract. That is why we have some kind of acts are there. Okay. And other than that, the community can also make a major contribution. If somebody is, in my community, somebody is having this, if I'm sitting simply, or let them have, if that way, it will not work it, because if that particular, if maybe 2 or 3 people are having this particular addiction, they will pull others also, then it will be a kind of threat for the total community. So make sure that not only to the government, each individual have the responsibility for taking care of this particular and family, school, civil society, and religious organization can do their part in. That is why I said it is not that, oh, if my kids are okay, they are not taking drugs, I'm happy. No way. Because no idea from where it is going to influence, correct? So as a family, in a community or society, society means everything will come under that. So schools, all the religious organization, wherever people are understanding about this, somebody is having, we have a sharing responsibility to correct all these people, and universal access to prevention, treatment, and support. So it is not that only like, okay, this kind of people only I'm going to help. Everybody will get that particular kind of treatment and support if they are ready to quit this kind of drug, because it is not only ruining their life, it is going to ruin the entire society, community, finally, the particular state and particular country and the world. Everybody is going to affect with this particular threat. So this will foster communities free of drugs related to crime and violence, who can contribute a safer world for all. If I need to have my world safe, then it is not only my family. I need to have an idea about my society, my community, everybody is protected. So through this health talk, through the self-awareness, if I can give some idea to 60 people, the 60 people can give it to others, so automatically so many people are getting the awareness, so that this way only we can have a safer world, correct? So together we can tackle this world problem. Ending with this presentation, so hope I have shared some kind of ideas where you all got idea about this drug abuse. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot, ma'am. And we had a lot of things regarding drug abuse, and it's been a chance to meet you and hear your words again. And thanks a lot, ma'am. And finally, we move on to last but not least. I take my privilege to call Asha from BS Nursing third year to extend our gratitude of vote of thanks.
Good morning all, my name is Asha, third year student of BSc Nursing, PPG College of Nursing. Today I am here to give the vote of thanks organized by the PPG College of Nursing on the International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking. I am very much humbled and honored to be the one making the closing of today's webinar by proposing a vote of thanks on behalf of the entire fraternity of PPG College of Nursing. Here I would like to quote Martin Luther's words. Occasionally in life, there are those moments of unutterable fulfillment by those symbols called words. Their meaning can only be articulated by the inaudible language of heart saying thank you. My first and foremost sincere thanks to our Honorable Chairman, Dr. L.P. Thangavelu sir, our correspondent, Mrs. Shanti Thangavelu ma'am, and our co-correspondent, Mr. Akshay sir of PPG College of Institution for their unstained support for this event. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. I take an immense pleasure in extending my gratitude to our guest of honor, who has spared her time from her busiest schedule, Professor Meera Chandru, Principal of Nampalli College of Nursing. Thank you, ma'am. We are all inspired by your great words. I am very much happy to extend my heartfelt thanks to our beloved Principal Madam of PPG College of Nursing, Dr. Muthulakshmi ma'am, for her generous support for this event. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your valuable presence. Now, I take place a record of our gratitude or to all faculty members and staffs who have spent their time in this event, contributing and encouraging our all efforts to this event. Thank you, my dear teachers. Last but not the least, I thank all my dear friends and my dearest seniors and juniors for making this event a success. Thank you, my dear friends. Once again, I thank all the distinguished invitees present here who have accepted our invitation and all the good hearts who have helped us running this webinar flawless. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for your attention. Today, photography is the art of teleporting the past into the future. So I request all the members present in the meeting to turn on their video to capture this moment. Please turn on your video, please. I request everyone in the meeting to turn on their video.
Thank you so much.
Stay home, stay safe.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for all your contribution towards this program. Thank you, Meera ma'am, for your valuable speech and presence. So be safe and wear mask, sanitize yourself, stay home. Thank you.